every single morning, they're simply getting into a low squat.
Responde o
If
cara
you're
lá
gonna
que tá
get into
perguntando
a
se
squat, I
entrega, ó.
recommend that you place something beneath your heels to make the pose a little bit more accessible to you, or simply go as low as you can go and work on getting the heels down. This position opens your ankle as well as your hips mostly, as well as getting your spine into a natural flex position. I do several things here, and I do a final stretch, which is the one that I'm going to recommend to you. The first thing is simply moving around your squat, opening up into the hips, opening up into the ankles. You can do some presses towards one side, towards the other side as well. You can bring the elbows to the inside of your knee and press to the outside to open up a little bit more into the hips. From here, I simply lift my chest. Sometimes I close my eyes, I find stillness, I scan my body from head to toe.
Olha só,
I simply spend here a couple of minutes, or again, I just move side to side depending on how I feel that day. The next one that I'm going to recommend in a squat position, which is still number one, is going to be adding some rotation to this position. When we sleep, we are basically in one single plane, and obviously we don't do that much rotation. Let's just sleep on one side. Adding some rotation in the movement is absolutely good for your body. I'm going to recommend that you grab the right hand, grab the outside of your left shin, and simply rotate as much as possible from your thoracic, not bringing your entire hips with you, but the hips are facing forward as you rotate towards the left in this case. You can simply be here,
olha
get
que
a
eu vou
little
deixar o
open
governo no
in
chão
and
e
out.
fazer
So
a
personally, I just
flexão, né?
simply go here. And if you want to intensify the stretch, you lift the arm that is rotated. You can also gaze at that arm and just hold it for about 30 seconds. From here, you will switch hands, so left hand to the outside of my right shin, rotate towards the right, open the right hand, and again, I spend about 30 seconds on each side. I might alternate some days. I might just move around in my squat. I might just close my eyes and even do some little meditation while my hips are getting open. And that's it. This is for the first stretch that I do every single morning. I'll see you on the next one. 40 seconds stretch.
Ah, cara, que delícia! Jesus Cristo!
First daily, which is simply back chest opener. Again, you can do it first time in the morning. We tend to be closing down not only during the night, but as we work on a desk job, opening up the chest.
Não, eu pisei no rabo dela.
Simply keep out, then begin to clap the hands. You can bend your arms slightly so you can reach both hands. Then open up through the chest as much as possible. You open the chest forward and up and lean back slightly. And a couple modifications here. If your hands or if you're quite tight here, your hands here are going to be more comfortable. If you want to intensify the stretch, you will bring the palms to touch together and you will even create more retraction and sending the hands back. Now, two variations. If you suffer from tight hip flexors, you can work more on this stretch. If you're doing this one, which is arching, I would recommend to keep a posterior pelvic tilt and or send the hips forward. This will actually open up more your thoracic spine, the entire spine, mostly L4 and L5 and S1, creating that extension on the spine. So engage your glutes slightly, not too much, and simply send the hips forward, open up into the hip flexors and the entire front part of your body. You can also do the next one I'm gonna do, which is if you suffer more from hamstring mobility or hamstring flexibility, or you simply want to stretch your hamstring, you will open up, keep the anterior pelvic tilt, no glutes engaged here, send the hips slightly back, keep the back as flat as possible. Once you get to your maximum range of motion, you relax into the stretch. Again, you don't have to be here, you can be here, you can have small soft bend in the knees, you can rock side to side, and you can do both. You can work on your hamstrings, you don't have to work on either or both, and then create some extension here, or simply open the chest. Maybe you will do the full sequence as you do it as you start in the morning, but maybe throughout the day you're simply walking around. You finish working for 45 minutes on your desk job. You get up. I'm not saying that you got a desk job, but you get the idea, and you simply get up or working from your computer and opening your chest to really create that thoracic extension, opening into the shoulders as well into the head area. I'll see you on exercise number 3. All right, family, for the third stretch and the last stretch that I recommend to do every single morning, of course, there are more, but these are the ones that I personally do and the ones I recommend. It's going to be getting down into the floor. Let me move through 2 stretches, so I know what you guys might be thinking, probably not 7 stretches, but something like 30 stretches. We're going to go from a lunge position. Now, on a lunge, we're going to drive the hips forward. Before we drive the hips forward, I want to keep a posterior pelvic tilt as I drive my hip forward, keeping my glutes engaged, especially my right glute, which is the leg that I have behind. This will open more into the right sword and will really facilitate a stretch. From here, you can simply be with your hands right here if this is enough for you, or you can add some more thoracic extension and bring your arms up. You can be right here. You can also work on the variation hands back chest opener, but the movement is simply moving from a lunge, which is the first stretch. Now we're moving more dynamically. You're gonna uncurl the toes behind you. You're gonna move on to a runner stretch or half split. In this case, we're gonna be stretching the left hamstring. I recommend that you flex the foot so it also involve the calf, just like a regular forward fold, anterior pelvic tilt, pulling forward as much as possible. And you can either hold each one of them passively, or you can move dynamically through both of them. So you work on the right hip flexor, then left hamstring, right hip flexor, with the hamstring and calf. So we're opening the anterior chain and then the posterior chain simultaneously. This is probably one of my favorite stretches to do every single morning because it literally opens up basically your entire body. Make sure you're doing both sides on this stretch, and I will see you on the next one. Alright, family, we're moving from morning towards night, more relaxing and more passive stretching with the tracking with what we do or for sure more, but these are the ones that I personally do and the ones I recommend. We're going to be getting down into the floor. We're going to be moving through two stretches, so I know what you guys might be thinking, probably not 7 stretches, but something like 30 stretches. We're going to go from a lunge position. Now on a lunge, we're going to drive the hips forward. Before we drive the hips forward, I want to keep a posterior pelvic tilt as I drive my hip forward, keeping my glutes engaged, especially my right glute, which is the leg that I have behind. This will open more into the right sword and will really facilitate a stretch. From here, you can simply be with your hands right here if this is enough for you, or you can add some more thoracic extension and bring your arms up. You can be right here. You can also work on the variation hands back chest opener, but the movement is simply moving from a lunge, which is the first stretch. Now we're moving more dynamically. You're gonna uncurl the toes behind you. You're gonna move on to a runner stretch or half split. In this case, we're gonna be stretching the left hamstring. I recommend that you flex the foot so it also involves the calf, just like a regular forward fold, anterior pelvic tilt, pulling forward as much as possible. And you can either hold each one of them passively, or you can move dynamically through both of them. You work on the right hip flexor, then left hamstring, right hip flexor, with the hamstring, and calf. We're opening the anterior chain and then the posterior chain simultaneously. This is probably one of my favorite stretches to do every single morning because it literally
Olha
opens
que ele tipo
up
não faz, ele só
your
mostra, né?
entire
Como
body.
que é.
É, só tá mostrando, pensei que era treino, mas ele só tá mostrando
And I will see you
o
on the
bagulho
next.
igual só.
Alright, family, we're moving from morning towards night, more relaxing and more passive stretching to simply relax your body and
Tem uma causa,
good
filho,
night of
machucado.
sleep. It's absolutely
Por causa de
critical.
goleiro, hein?
Just calm down the nervous system before we go to bed. I'm gonna suggest a supported bridge pose. You can also do it not supported, but I wanna
Corre.
make this pose from active to passive. So bridge pose
A merda não
is
vai
simply first consider your pelvis before you lift your hips, so open more into the psoas, just as we did on the previous stretch. Then lift up your hips, glutes are engaged. You're gonna move the shoulders down to create more retraction, which will allow your chest to open a little bit more. You can clasp the hands behind your back and press into the ground and bring the shoulders even more, and the chest is going up and back at the same time. This is the more active version. You can also place your hands here if you don't have the ability to clasp your hands. Now, what I'm going to recommend that you do at night is simply holding this for 3 minutes. You're going to place a block, pillows, anything that you can place underneath your sacrum to elevate your sacrum, and simply relax here. Now I'm completely passive, which means that if I stop doing anything with my body, nothing happens because I'm in a supported position. This will open your thoracic spine, will open your hip flexors, and will help you relax before you go to bed. So choose a variation according to you. Maybe sometimes you want something a little bit more active to work more on the mobility aspect of it. Sometimes you just want to completely relax. The supported bridge pose is amazing. I'll see you on the next one. Alright, family, for the last stretch, I can swear by God that I do this every single night. All the other stretches as well, but this one could be probably one of my favorite, which is plow pose on yoga or halasana. I don't know the other name other than that. It's an inverted candlestick or something close to that. On bridge pose, we open our anterior chain, our hip flexors, our abdomen, and our chest. Now we're gonna open our entire posterior chain from our hamstring to our calf to our entire lumbar spine, basically our entire spine. From here, we're gonna lift our legs. We're laying down supine in our backs. Then get the legs back as much as you can, and also keep a small bend on your legs. Once your legs are right there, you're going to flex the feet, so you also stretch on the calves, and you can simply be right here. This is enough also for shoulder stretch, having the hands right here. You can also support your lumbar spine. You can work forward a little bit more, or if you want to intensify more the pose, you do the hand clasp again. So if you do the hand clasp on any pose that I'm showing, you're going to open the chest, open the shoulders, and here, from here all the way down, you're stretching your entire posterior chain. If you want to get more fancy, you can drop the knees. You can place some blocks right here if you don't get to the floor. This one is more advanced if you really want to get more flexibility gains. But also, if you are flexible enough, remember that when you're flexible enough, you want to get into a position where you feel an actual stretch to really relax the body. But again, we're not trying to get so deep into the pose, we're simply trying to relax. Cloud pose, by far my favorite. I do it every single night. You can ask my wife if you don't believe me, and I'll see you on the next one. For my family, I lie. The previous one was not my favorite. This is my favorite. No, I'm joking. Both of them are my favorite, but this one I also do it every single night. It's an amazing stretch, which is going to be supine Baddha or Supta Baddha in yoga, or simply supine butterfly or inverted butterfly, however you want to call it. And I'm going to show you two variations. The second one is literally one of my favorite restorative poses that I do on a daily basis before going to bed, which is you create a regular butterfly position with your legs instead of folding forward, which is something that I also do at night. You can also incorporate this top 30 stretches in this video, or you can simply lay down and allow gravity to do its work. This will simply is for relaxing the body and simply open your hips in a passive way. And gravity is doing their work, so it's not so passive. If you feel any pain here, because I recommend that you hold the night position for 2 to 3 minutes each to really get the full benefit, stretching the fascia and relax the central nervous system. You can place some blocks underneath your knees or under your on the outside of your legs to reduce the amount of hip abduction that you need and reducing the range of motion, basically making it even more passive. So you can do this or you can do this. Now my favorite is keeping the legs as they are, and I'm going to use two core blocks. One is going to be in the middle of my shoulder blades, and the other one is going to be on my head. This one will create some nice curvature on my thoracic spine and will open on my thoracic spine, not on my lumbar spine. You can see here it's almost flat. And I just allow gravity to do its work. I like to be in butterfly. You can also have your legs together. Top 40 stretches now. Or you can simply be right here. You're going to open up the hips at the same time that you're opening up the entire thoracic region and their entire thoracic spine. And if you want to involve the shoulders a little more, simply open the hands to the outside and you will feel a nice stretch on your pecs. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely something that I do every single night before going to bed. Definitely something that you've probably seen on my restorative yoga classes. It's an amazing stretch, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, family, for the final and seventh stretch that you can do every single day, we have another one to do at night that I do a lot at night, which I haven't covered on the entire series. And if you guys know me, twisting is probably one of my favorite things to do that I do on a regular daily basis. On every yoga class that you do with me, every mobility class, I will finish with a twist. I recommend that you do it at night. You can also do it in the morning, but this one is going to be a bit more passive. If you want to do it in the morning, just throwing this in there, probably top 50 exercises now. And just simply one leg is bent and simply twist to one side. There are many variations of twisting. The most important part is understanding the principle, which is not bringing your body with you, but your hips are square and you're twisting from your thoracic spine. So you can be there, simply hug your leg and be right here, then hug right here. And if you're more advanced, you can grab the elbow and place it to the outside and rotate deeper. You can do a seated one in the morning or at night. This would be a double fold. Didn't plan to say that, but I do twisting in the morning as well as at night. Now, if you want to make it more passive and you're laying down and you're doing probably the entire sequence that we do at night, I'm using two blocks because we're going to bring the right knee towards us and we're going to twist towards the left. Now, remember I said not to bring the entire body with you. If you try to get to the floor, you're gonna bring your entire body with you unless you have crazy amount of rotation. And nothing wrong with this position right here. That's totally fine. But sometimes the knee stay hanging, and we don't want that because we're gonna be actively trying to control or stabilize the leg. So a block right here, or even two blocks on this side, will really allow your knee to rest. You will look to the opposite side of where your knee is going. My knee is going to the left. I'm twisting towards the right, and you can gaze or look at the right hand. Complete twist stretch. On the one side, then you do the other side. Again, either seated twist or supine laying twist. Both of them, whichever you prefer, you can alternate between one another. For twisting, I really do not have a specific one. Sometimes I'm just sitting right here, I go into a twist in the morning, or if I'm doing this night sequence at night, I go for the supine version. Any twist before bed that helps with digestion and also with rotation of your spine, it's absolutely incredible to do. With that being said, guys, this is the video for today. Let us know if you enjoyed this type of dynamic video, a little bit more different as well. Let us know what else you want to see on this channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I wish you all an amazing 2021. We're filming this before 2021, but I don't really know if we're releasing this before 2021 or after 2021. So whenever you are seeing this or whenever we're releasing this, I wish you an amazing, happy new year. That being said, I'll see you all next year and next week. Much love.
Esse cara aí.